On your Chapter 8 quiz review, number 13, it says arithmetic sequence. That means we are using the rule a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. That is the rule for arithmetic sequences. I have no idea. Sorry about that. Okay, in this thing, it says the common difference is 9. So we are going to put 9 in place of d. It also says that your sixth term is negative 16. In order to write a rule for the nth term, you need to have the first term and the common difference. We don't have the first term, we have the sixth term. In this little statement, a sub 6 equals negative 16. 6 is the n, negative 16 is the term. So you're putting negative 16 in place of the nth term, and because negative 16 is the sixth term, you are going to use 6 in place of n. Now you've filled in everything except for a1, so now we can do some math and figure out what a1 is. In the parentheses, 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 times 9 is 45. And to figure out what our first term is, we subtract 45 on both sides. I believe that's negative 61. Is that correct? Somebody check my mental math.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Now that we have our first term, we are able to write the rule for the nth term. The nth term is the first term plus n minus 1 times our common difference, 9. And you should probably take the time to distribute the 9 and then combine like terms. So if we distributed the 9, we would get, 9n minus 9, and then combine our like terms, we'd get 9n minus 70. So your nth term is 9n minus 70. But really, truly, if you left it like this, I probably wouldn't count it wrong, because that shows me that you used the rule, you found the first term, you plugged the first term and the common difference in. Now you can practice on your own by trying number 14 on your own and comparing your answer to the answer key online. Let's look at number 15. Number 15 is exactly the same, but with geometric sequences. So when you see geometric sequence, you know you're going to use the rule a sub n, the nth term, equals the first term times the common ratio raised to the n minus 1. It tells you that the common ratio is 5. So you're going to put 5 in place of the r. We don't know the first term. We do know that the second term is 200. So 200 goes here. You always put what the term is on that side. And because 200 is the second term, you use 2 in place of the n. Now do some math. 2 minus 1 is 1. 5 to the first is 5. 200 equals our first term times 5. Divide both sides by 5. Our first term is 40. Once you know that the first term is 40, now you can write a rule for the nth term. The nth term is the first term, which we now know is 40, times our common ratio 5 raised to the n minus 1. And the lovely thing about geometric sequence rules is that you don't have to do any extra work. It's just, bam, done. Number 17 always throws people, and I think it's because it has words in it, and for some reason you're scared of words, which you all need to get over, like, now. Get over it. Stop being scared. It's not scary. You just have to read, which is no big deal. An auditorium has 25 rows. Honestly, this piece of information, it's trying to throw you off. Completely ignore it. The first row has 10 seats. So if we were looking at this sequence written out, our first term in the sequence is 10. The first row has 10 seats. Each row after that has one more seat. So how many seats does the next row have in it? 11, and then 12, and so on and so on. Now, for B, if you wanted to seriously write out every single term and then tell me what the 15th term is, you could. That's using a different method to get your answer. It would take a little bit of work and some extra lead, and we're all kind of stingy about lead. It's the end of the year. We don't want to use it up unnecessarily. But by writing out what the numbers are, we can see that our first term is 10, and the pattern here is adding 1. So that's our D. So the nth term, I really don't know what my computer is doing when it does that. It's kind of scary. The nth term is the first term 10 plus n minus 1 times the common difference 1. You could distribute and combine like terms, but quite frankly, if you have this written down for 17A, I would count that correct on the test. For B, you'd plug 15 into it. So 10 plus 15 minus 1 times 1. 15 minus 1 is 14. 14 times 1 is 14. So 10 plus 14 is 24. There are 24 seats in the 15th row. Now, on your own, I would like you to find the number of seats in the 20th row. That way you have to do something on your own. If you want another problem like this to try, do the same problem, but say that the first row has 10 seats. Each row after that has 2 more. Write out the sequence, see if you can find a rule for it. That'll give you some extra practice.